English literature emerged in late 14th century. With the introduction of the printing press into England, there was an era of great flourishing of literature, especially in the fields of poetry and drama. Today, let's focus on British drama and William Shakespeare. The United Kingdom has a tradition of theatre. The Elizabethan period of the late 16th and early 17th century saw flourishing of the drama. From this period, William Shakespeare stands out as the most famous writer in the world. William Shakespeare wrote around 40 plays that are still performed in theatre across the world to this day. His plays have been translated into every major living language. But little is known of his life. William Shakespeare's life. It is said that Shakespeare was born and brought up in Stratford-Avon. It is assumed by some scholars that he most likely attended the King's New School in Stratford, where he learned reading, writing, and the classics, and he didn't go to any university. Such uncertainty concerning his education has resulted in the doubt about the authorship of his work and even about the existence of William Shakespeare. At the age of 18, he married 26-year-old Anne Hathaway, with whom he had 3 children, Susanna and twins Hamlet and Judith. After the birth of the twins, there are no records of William Shakespeare's life for the next 7 years, called by scholars lost years. Many speculations have been made on what he was doing during this period, and it is widely believed that he worked as horse attendant at some of London's finest theatres. Between 1585 and 1592, he began a successful career in London as an actor, writer, and managing partner of a playing company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men, later known as the King's Men after being awarded with royal patent by King James I in 1603. During his time in the King's Men, the leading playing company in London at that time, Shakespeare had several works published and sold as popular literature. It is said that Shakespeare spent most of his time writing and acting and came home once a year. By 1599, William Shakespeare and his business partner built their own theatre on the south bank of Thames River, which they called the Globe. In 1612, he retired from the stage and returned to his hometown. William Shakespeare's works. Shakespeare's plays capture the complete range of human emotion and conflict. They include tragedies such as Hamlet and King Lear, comedies such as A Midsummer Night's Dream and Twelfth Night, and his plays such as Henry V. Shakespeare's history plays have been interpreted by drama historians as Shakespeare's way of justifying the origins of the Tudor dynasty. His comedies merely described joyful life full of sunshine and represented his belief in the goodness in human beings. He believed, although dark side existed in human nature, the inherent goodness could overcome every evil power. In the tragedies, Shakespeare focused on human nature that was timeless and universal. The moral failures inside a man often drive the twists and turns of Shakespeare's plots, destroying the hero and those he loves, just like the Prince Hamlet. Shakespeare's tragedies are interpreted as evidence for his changing belief in human nature, from goodness to evil. As Shakespeare witnessed and experienced the dark side of the society, he began to doubt the goodness in life and even feel desperate about society. William Shakespeare's influence. The Elizabethan age is sometimes called the age of Shakespeare for the amount of influence he held over the era. Shakespeare's works have exerted a lasting impact on later theatre and literature. Many later playwrights and novelists have been heavily influenced by his works. As the famous critic George Steiner described, all English verse dramas, from Coleridge to Tennyson, as feeble variations on Shakespearean themes. So do many novelists such as Thomas Hardy, William Faulkner, and American novelist Herman Melville, whose soliloquies owe much to Shakespeare and whose Captain Ahab in Moby Dick is a classic tragic hero, inspired by King Lear. Besides the influence on literature, Shakespeare also contributed a lot to the development of modern English. For instance, he expanded English vocabulary greatly by absorbing foreign words, as the words used by him climb up to more than 20,000. Samuel Johnson quoted him more often than any other author in his A Dictionary of the English Language. Moreover, many statements in Shakespeare's works have become modern English idioms or proverbs, such as to be or not to be, with bated breath and a foregone conclusion, have found their way into everyday English speech. Time is really of no account with William Shakespeare's great thoughts. Whenever we read his works, we feel as if we were accompanied by a saint full of wisdom and at the same time full of humanity, who sometimes amuses us by farces, sometimes saddens us by revealing the moral failure and destruction of human beings, but always comforts us by showing the ultimate pursuit of goodness of man.